All right, folks, it's time for the inquiry for Power Rangers Dino Fury episode 5. So, yeah, I wasn't able to actually wrap things up. I actually couldn't finish it because, well, yeah, lo and behold. So, yeah, it was really, really messed up where it's like I had to just cut it short. But here's my thoughts on the episode. The episode was okay. It was very nice. I wish it could have been touching, but as you can hear in the episode review, it was pretty eh. There's just some things it's like, let's just go stage by stage. Okay, so first things first had to be the idea of Lily. It's okay. It's like, yeah, Lily, that was nice. That was cool to do. That was awesome. Only messed up part is a few things of number one, Lily didn't actually, it's like, wait, you didn't tell your cousin that you have a friend that had an issue, a friend that got hurt? It's like, okay, it couldn't have been recently. I'm pretty sure she should have said something to her. Am I right? It's like you had to have known, like, you had to have told your cousin, like, eventually, or something like that, where it's like, yeah, lo and behold, the friend that actually got injured, like, oh my goodness. It's like, yeah, being cousins and all, you would figure they share stuff. And well, apparently, yes, they share, but they didn't share that part where it's like, I have a friend. It's like, my friend actually got hurt recently. Oh, that's messed up. I'm keeping tabs on her. And then it's like, I'm going to go help her one day. It's like, oh, that's nice. It's like, you would freaking figure that she would already know that, that she would already know. Excuse me. She would already know that she had a friend that actually is injured. So it really is messed up where it's like, yeah, so she should have already knew that. Now, it makes her a messed up character. It's like, it messed her up a few times where number one is like, so, excuse me, if she knew the details, which she didn't, but if she knew the details, then that means that freaking slipped out of her mind, which is like, in a way, it would make her a jerk, but on the other hand, it's like she's focused on racing and stuff and being fit and all that crap. So it's like you can understand that she would not actually remember. Yeah, but it's like if she continues talking about the friend, then it makes her a little bit like a jerk, being like, you don't remember that she talked about her friend that got injured? It's like, you don't remember. What the fuck? Like, what the frick? Then instead of actually telling that you're helping a friend that is injured, a friend that got hurt, you're like, oh, I'm just helping a friend shop. And it's like, seriously, seriously. And instead of actually saying the thing that should be said, which is, I'm helping a friend at shop. She actually got hurt and she actually needs help to shop. And it's like, it gets stupid where it's like, yeah, instead of saying all that, this is where the lesson of the day is, which is like, yeah, I kind of actually did figure out that that's what's going on, is that they actually had to put lesson of the day part in there. And it's like, it works, but it's kind of sucky. It works, but it's kind of sucky. And they won't survive anyways. It's like, it wouldn't have survived anyways, considering she already looks like a jerk yelling at her cousin who's impaired. You already look kind of like a jerk. Here's another thing that's make you look like a jerk. You look like even more of a jerk. Hold on, something's going on. Give me 1 second. So yeah, she totally look like a jerk. And then she looks like more of a jerk if you would have been like, I was helping out a friend who's injured. It's like, it's kind of messed up where it's like, you never said the friend was injured. You just basically said I went with my friend shopping. And then you decided to give us this little speech being like, winning isn't everything. It's like, yeah, that's true, but it kind of sucks. It's like in the way of you doing it. It could have been better if it was something else. Not this crap, just something else entirely. I don't know. Yeah, but again, she is like, the reason why they omitted the fact that their friend was injured was just the fact of where it's like, yeah, but she'll look like a freaking jerk if she's saying, oh, I don't care if your friend's injured and stuff. It's like, you're supposed to be here. And it's like, Yeah, which is even worse where it's like, okay, hold on. So before your friend was injured, did you make an obligation to actually meet up every single time? Not to mention, it's like, couldn't your friend actually wait to get shop? I'm just saying, it's like, couldn't she wait to shop? You know? It's like, yeah, and it's like, yeah, time management and stuff like that, that's an issue. But it's like, yeah, but in the end, you made a commitment to help your cousin. And thank goodness it's pro bono, but still, it's like, you can't just come over here and try to actually make sure it works. It's like it this doesn't work. I'm sorry to be like Token Razor with a donut. Yeah, no, the complimentary battle donut. And then they crush it and it's like, oh no, oh no. It's like, yeah, so it's like this is how messed up it is, where it's it's like it tried to actually do something with a lesson and it kind of falls flat to messed up being like, yeah, there's no way, shape, or form that you wouldn't actually talk up a storm about your friend and the fact that, or at least she knows that you have a friend, which most likely she does. But I would figure that learning about your friend getting hurt, and it couldn't be recent because she had to get a cast and everything. Let's see, could it be recent? Okay, it might be maybe a little bit recent, but still, even so, you should have said that I'm helping out a friend who was injured. It's like she did let you actually say words. You did. And instead of actually saying that, well, my friend was injured, and then you can deliver the lesson of the day. Even though it make Izzy look like a jerk, being like, yeah, well, go. Just go. I'll train myself. Just go. It's like that makes her look like a freaking damn jerk. That makes her a freaking damn jerk. What about Jane and Jayborg? Well, the first segment that we have Jane and Jayborg was okay. That one I was okay with. The fact of she went to children actually teaching them stuff, that's okay. That seems perfectly fine. But the next part was not really needed. As for Jayborg, I mean Jane and having the Sporex go inside and all that stuff is like, oh good, that's gross. But it's like, sure, why not? Freak it. Just the next part of where they actually went into a trash can hiding after the Sporix Beast got big, and then they got kicked by our what was it called? What was it called? I guess hydro pump. Yeah, and they freaking went down the street and then hit a police car, and it's like, oh look, there's a police officer. So then, where the hell were you last episode, though? It's like, yeah, the police officers here, really, where were you? Even though you couldn't do anything, but still, where were you? Yeah, that was weird. Where it's like, okay, so the warden of the park showed up, but a police officer didn't. That does that really make sense? That really makes sense. That doesn't make sense at all. It's like I would have been fine that Javi actually just stole a police car. I would have been okay with that. It's like, yeah, it's like he doesn't seem straight and narrow anyways, and still he took his dad's car, which without permission, and that technically isn't his dad's property. So it's like, yeah, so it's like, yeah, if you're trying to do something that's pretty awesome and stuff, I would have preferred you would just do the right thing and just have him steal the police car, and then his dad has to talk to the police officers, and at least they have a thing because, well, he seems kind of sort of a little bit of a bad type. So I would have to believe that there's like a little bit of a record with him. And it's like, yeah, there you go. Of course, I know this is a kid's show. There's no way, shape, or form we can have Power Rangers with records and stuff. Even so, it's like, yeah, it's, it's messed up to now. Here's a police officer. As for everything else, the Zord is there. That's cool. Izzy's story without her cousin, that's cool. Her helping a freaking rival out, that was something big. That was nice. That was big development of her character. That was nice. So that's cool. Anything else? I think that's pretty much everything. That's pretty much all that's really need to be said is that in the episode in full is pretty okay. Of course, Cat Lady and Al Gent are responsible for this episode being written. and they're still producers and stuff. And it's just kind of sad that when it comes to them being like, oh, well, they're not really supposed to be this, but we slumped and did it anyways. And it's like, I thought you said that's they weren't like that. And here we go. And then it comes a funny realization, be like, remember Gene and Zorb? I think that actually got translated to Jane and Jay Borg. And so Zorb is actually Jay Borg. And so they basically, instead of having like the original casting for them, they just changed them and turned them into them. Even though I'm pretty sure this might just be a coincidence. But this episode is like the only way how to really make make the next episode okay is that stop. Don't have Jane and Jay Borg in the episode at all. Stop. And have some decent ones without any lessons for the day shoved in. But was it nice that they actually got someone from Special Olympics in it? It's like, yeah, that was nice. It's just that it kind of sucks that you didn't really do her character justice. Not really. Because if you did do justice, then the lesson of the day shouldn't really have been there. Or you would have just made Izzy look like a jerk. So technically, lesson of the day should not even have been there at all. Just saying. I mean, it is something good. And it does actually bring something of where it's like, how about Izzy actually comes to a thing of where she might actually come like a bit of a jerk, but it would have been nice that she actually has a realization of her own instead of being told told the story, told the freaking lesson of the day. That maybe Willie just would have told him that, yeah, I'm helping out a friend, and the friend actually is injured right now, and then Izzy's a jerk, being like, okay, well, even so, you supposed to have been here to help me though. So I'm just gonna train my own. It's like, yeah, so she's a jerk. Said some mess of words. Then she comes to a realization when she sees a rival runner getting hurt. She could either do what her father says is winning or help her out. And this is where she gets the freaking realization, be like, yeah, I was going to go for it and be first place, but I saw her injured and I stopped, and I realized that when it comes to winning, sometimes it's not everything. And it would not have been fair for me to make it if the person that actually might have been my rival couldn't. And I couldn't just leave her all alone. It's like, yeah, so something like that where it's like it develops to where it's like she just said something to her dad because her dad's the one that's like it, and then their dad or someone is like, I don't know. And I still have to admit though, the relay race or the race or whatever doesn't have sportsmanship medal or something. It's like, that's some bull crap right there. It's like, yes, it's a touching speech and it's touching that Lily gave her her medal, but technically, technically, they should have had a sportsman medal over there. It's like, come on. You don't have one tucked away. You have to have one tucked away. Come the freak on, really? But anyways, yeah, so that's all I want to say. It's an okay episode, but dwelling on it now, it's like they tried to put a lesson of the day in it. And the thing is that it technically made the person giving the lesson of the day a bit of a jerk. Well, not really a bit of a jerk, but it's like, yeah, but it's kind of in a way made her indirectly a jerk, because if you would have just said that the friend was hurt and you were helping him, then you wouldn't have got yelled at. But instead, you had to actually say, here's a lesson for the day. Well, we'll see on Saturday if they actually do better. Unless it actually is not coming on Saturday. I don't know.